What do you get when you make an anime about a cat? But not any old cat, a yokai. So, a spirit cat that can talk. Well, you get a hot mess of an anime. Today we're talking about Tonari no Yokai-san, otherwise known as My Neighbor Yokai. Let's talk about Wyatt Good. Now, I'm gonna be real with you. This was not my favorite anime. I knew it wouldn't be my favorite anime going into it, and even though I went in with an open mind, it still kind of wound up exactly where I expected it to be. I will say, however, on the good side of things, the couple episodes that did get me had a couple good, heartstring attachments pulling on me here and there, because this anime, however, is about a cat, an elderly cat that dies and then comes back as a yokai. So it comes back and can talk, and it's in this world full of spirits and yokai and gods that all interact kind of in imperfect harmony with people and humans around them. I wish it was that simple, which I will say is kind of a good thing. You don't want your anime to be too simple unless you're solely looking for slice of life or romance, and this has some of that, but it also has like a very good jumping point for a lot of opportunity and scenarios to happen, because there's gods, there's yokai, there's spirits of the dead, and there's humans all interacting with each other every episode. So on the good side of things, it does give you a lot to work with and a lot of possible scenarios and a lot of things that can go right and go wrong. And let me tell you, there's a lot more that went wrong here. Let's talk about Wyatt Bad. Now, I am trying to be charitable. I really am. But this anime was just too much. I'm not even joking, probably 100 characters to be mindful of within the first season. And I don't know about you. I do like side characters. I don't want this many though, because when there's this big of an ensemble cast, every time someone new that gets a big focus gets put into the mix, I know there's going to be less time on kind of some of the more main centralized characters, and this anime is a perfect example of that. There is legit a character that is a car. So a spirit goes into a car, and he, instead of then transferring into human shape, transfers into a human body with a car head. Do you have to put gas in this guy when he's walking around in human form? And where do you put the gas? That stupid jokes aside, I think there were some characters that were good. Obviously the cat, Muccio, and Jiro, which is this mountain protector. He protects this village of the mountain, and he's a giant bird that can turn into wind or something. So the bad starts happening kind of after, once you get past just that, which already is going to take you a while to digest as a viewer, they just start pummeling on characters left and right. There's characters that are horses, there's characters that are foxes, characters that are wolves, characters that are just elves and people that have magic. They go to the UK in one episode and they're just all wizards. I'm wow, really, really original. Harry Potter, ha ha ha, it's really, really unique. So my problem is just so much that it doesn't feel like there's much of a direction. Throughout the entire first season, I'm kind of just what are we building toward? And if I were to just focus on the characters of this show, the main Poe's character in the show, the cat, or the main yokai, he just cries the entire show, and it is really, really frustrating. Any scenario, I'm telling you, he will just start crying. And I understand it's an emotional thing, probably coming back to life and suddenly being able to walk on your hind legs and talk, but bro, you're crying throughout every episode. I don't like you anymore. You are it's if Deku was a cat in the first season of My Hero Academia. I'm not going to get hung up on this. I'm not going to get too hung up on this. But I think aside from just lack of direction, the other problem I had with this anime was that it didn't. I know a lot of anime can be for younger ages, but this almost felt kind of like, you know, like an after school special kind of anime, because every episode kind of ends with like a lesson learned. Like, you hurt their feelings, you should probably apologize. Like, or you're holding something in, you should probably tell people how you feel. I'm like, what is this? Like, is this about the characters, or is this just about like teaching kids lessons about their emotions? Maybe I misunderstood something going into watching this. I got recommended this a couple times, and I just kind of mostly didn't have a great time watching it. I skipped through so much filler because it was just too much. It was just so boring. Like, there's legit a scene where like a kid like touches water, and there's a water god, and it pulls them into the river, and they're like, oh no, don't go into the water. And then everybody pulls them out, and they're like, this is why you don't swim without like a buddy, or you don't go in doing dangerous things alone. I'm just like, what? I can't. I just simply cannot. So what are my final thoughts of this anime? So My Neighbor Yokai, I think it does have a couple redeemable qualities. They do some parts of like emotional kind of distress and like how to navigate your emotions well. And I think there are a couple characters that are worth noting and like, you know, spending time like being invested in. But I can't handle just how washed out it gets because of the like absurd amount of characters and like stuff you have to follow. Like, I just stopped caring so fast about any of the main characters or even the side characters. Like, it was just too much. The dialogue was honestly like, it was pretty cringe a lot of the time, and again, they were just constantly like, what did we learn today, class? And like, nothing. I learned that this anime was boring. So who would like this anime? I mean, if you like feel good stuff, you'll probably enjoy elements of this. I don't think it's exactly feel good because there are like some like weird fight scenes. Like, there's scenes where like onis like break out of the sky, and then it just becomes this confusing mess. So if you like some feel good anime, you might like this, or some isekai, maybe you might like this. But for the most part, this wouldn't be something I would recommend to most anime watchers. If I had to rate it out of 10, I mean, it's getting a 4 probably, if I'm being real charitable, being real nice. So yeah, Tonari no Yokai-san is it is what it is. It's kind of a mess, and that's all right. And if you like messes, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye.